got you. I got you.
Yeah,
How
what were
y'all
you
feeling
saying?
today?
Yeah, how's everybody? Can you hear us, Joe?
Yeah, but I can hear you. You hear me?
Oh,
Yeah, I
there
hear
you
you.
go.
It looked like you was. I see your eyes. You watching something else. Who watching football?
No, I ain't watching.
I'm just messing with you. Yeah, I like that post you did, man.
I appreciate it,
Yeah,
man.
that was nice. I was like, ooh, we getting deep. Like, come on, all right.
Oh yeah, my uncle he had sent me something encouraging. It had something to do with how people they don't they tend to not focus on like the thoughts in their mind because that's the moment you can control like whatever you think, that's when you can be more intentional with whatever you're doing.
Exactly. Yeah, being mindful of your thoughts and keep yourself in a harmonious place instead of letting them wander so much.
Mhm. And he was just saying like sometimes we kind of expect things just to happen, and it's not about like this the more systematic way where we just always just gotta be, just because we accomplished our goals don't mean you're supposed to stop there, like
Mm-hmm.
I heard a lot of people like they get mad because they felt like they're so accomplished, like, well, I got my master's degree and and I got all of this, and they want people to respect them. It's like, well, you still need to, for people to respect you, you need to have qualities that's outside of just your accomplishment.
Yeah, like you walking around with that on your chest. I got my master's degree. Respect me. And I'm
Yeah,
like, I respect the man that ain't got no degree and he a millionaire. I want to go
yeah,
talk to him.
yeah, yeah. Nah,
How'd
for real.
you do that? And you
Mhm.
ain't got it. You ain't go through nothing traditional, but you the one got some secrets.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, great accomplishments. You got your degree and all, but that man over there that don't got one and he a millionaire, a billionaire,
Hmm.
we all need to be talking to him. Shoot.
Hmm.
So yeah, that's some good stuff. Good stuff, bro. Let me pull up. Where's my potentials? I'm gonna pull up a potential client. But go ahead, Darrell. What was you finna share? You was telling me
Oh,
something.
no, I was just saying that just studying over the information, I had started making like correlations, I want to say,
Okay.
to certain areas in the disc. Like, I was thinking about it. And most of the time, how you said most people think like them, like a high I thinks everybody thinks like a high I.
Okay.
I was looking at that and I'm like, yeah, that's true. And then I was like, but the thing is, to some degree, in my head, how I look at it is I think a high I's best friend is a high S because of that support.
Hmm.
Then when I got to thinking about it, I started thinking about my relationships with certain people, like uh, me and Sparkle, for instance. We
Okay.
have, to a certain degree, we have stronger conversations than me and, let's say, like Lee and them sometimes. And that's because me and her be sitting there talking like facts. Well, she'll be talking with her D sometimes and be talking about results, results, results. Then I'll start bringing the facts with my C. And we just, like you said, almost fit like hand to glove.
Opposites attract.
Yeah. So I'm like, how you were saying, like sometimes you could get a D and a C mixed up. I'm like, sometimes they could be the best of friends also. Just like with a high I and a high S. I'm like,
They
are you correct?
I think you looking at your situation has more to do with the relationship than as far as the communication with you. And so, because I got a friend who's a high D, and it's like sometimes we do bump heads, but it's based upon the approach, the wording, or how
Yeah.
he phrased, because he can be cut and dry. And I'm like, I get sensitive, like, what you mean? Like, no, that don't mean that what you talking about. Or you need to explain, you know what I'm saying? Because if they really in themselves, they just going this way, you know. I think because also you got to realize this. Even though what's her name is a high D, she got a kind of high C as well. So you follow what I'm saying? That's probably because if it's going by facts and knowing how you operate, yeah, you can have a conversation. Plus, y'all got a relationship before that. You know her husband, you know him. So it's
Yeah.
kind of like, I wouldn't say they couldn't get along. It depends on you accepting the way that person's style is or how they do communicate. And if you good with that, a high S will be like, okay, they'll let that person talk like that to a certain degree because they just trying to support them. Like the good example in the behavior, Jordan was very cut and dry, but for some reason, he wasn't exactly like that with Pippen. And Pippen is a high S. You follow me? Super supportive in his behavior. So how they reacted to each other, Jordan was like, yeah, because this dude always on point. He don't lose the ball. He don't, and when he make a mistake, he makes up for it. He plays his position. I can rely on him. He's a good man. But Pippen recognized, like, no, this is just George's behavior, man. The dude act like this. He say this to people. Look, y'all getting offended over it. I'm not, because I know how he operate. He been around him enough to say that that's okay and see that he ain't taking it personal. You follow what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, and it could be that with you mastery of yourself and how you are, and you kind of laid back. And that's definitely, you know, with that high S and that high C, your aura actually can change how other people's respond. That's why I wanted to kind of, you know, before I let you go forward, we go forward with this, the exercise. When you are talking to a client, remain as much of you as you can. Do not get out of, I mean, it's going to be, I want you to be in tune to be able to match the energy of a person to a certain degree, but you got to be authentic. You, like, good example, Darrell, you laid back, calm, cool, talking to a person. Yeah, this is this, slow in speech, or methodic in speech, that they can listen to you. They can get everything that you're saying, and it's easy to follow you. But if that person is a high I, you let them bounce off the screen. Let them be all over, and you be the calm piece that just pulls them in. You follow what I'm saying? So they can get the help and the understanding that they need as far as them. That's why they came to you. Because they may I mean, I'm all over the place and I'm all this. And you know how to, okay, redirect, slow them down, boom, boom, boom. And then they like, I got to keep talking to him. This dude, you know, he able to do this. You got to remain you. If you match his energy, I don't know how well that'll go. You know, that because then that's you coming out of you. Now you in your adaptive being a high I. And bless you. And the idea is for us to be as authentic, unapologetic, us. Be who you are. Be your natural. That's where your superpower is. Now, when you know you be in the C, when you know you be in the I, or you can recognize it no matter what degree it is, high or low, that's the power. That's the power that you bring. And that's the power that they looking for. Like, how you so think about this. I don't know what measures or tactics Denzel Washington's life coach is presenting to him. But if you've ever seen, I wish I could pull up an interview. If you've ever seen Denzel Washington in an interview, he always calm, cool, and collective, just as smooth as I don't know what. You follow what I'm saying? And he brings that with him no matter what movie he goes through. Even in the action movie Eli, he fighting with a sword and he calm and cool. He, you know, he the equalizer. I'm gonna do this and checking his clock, and you follow what I'm saying? This dude is definitely a S or a C, one of the two in calculations. He ain't a high. The only movie that he came totally out of his pocket was Training Day.
Yeah.
That was the only movie he was out of his pocket. Even in Glory, he was still smooth and cool. He was a smooth, cool ass slave. You know what I'm saying? The only movie he was out of the pot. Can't call, ain't got nothing. Oh, that dude was a high. I was like, oh, he is an actor. He can act his butt off. It was a total different person he was. You follow what I'm saying? And that's the only movie I've seen him go like that. Everything been always John Q. And I mean, he always cool. Even I got the gun. I'm finna shit. It's still, it's like that high S. But it's like, okay, if he's moving a little bit he's moving in his adaptive. It's like, is Denzel possibly aware of his natural and his adaptive? I think he is. He knows how to go in between that. He can be smooth, he can be erratic, and then he can calm right back down and be who he is. But he 9 times out of 10, he more so him than I've seen anytime he act. And then when I found out he got a life coach, I'm like, man, he cheating. He cheating. He cheating. I didn't know you need this. So they've helped him stay and remain and love and embrace and be more him. And that's what our job is to do. Whoever comes to the table, it's for them to love themselves, to embrace this idea of them, to be able to recognize it and to be able to access it, to be able to use that power to know when they D is up or when they D is down. I'm getting stressed up. I need to calm it down. That's where you come and play. Y'all follow me?
Yeah.
That's where we want to be at. So with that, let me see. Is this a good person? Yeah. Because this is do you mind, Ebony? Hold on, let me pull up my screen. I ain't got it on share yet. This is the person I want you to embody or try to act like this person now. Oh, I meant to send y'all this video of this woman. She does a reenactment of this, of how each one of these people act, how a D act, how a C act, their response to things is on YouTube. I've shown it. Have y'all ever seen it? Or am I talking foreign language?
I've seen a few videos, but I don't know about the one you're talking about.
I think I've seen the one that you're talking about.
It's a lady. She get on the elevator.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Ah, man, y'all need to see this. Well, I'll show it afterwards. But y'all can see what I have up here?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, this a little out of Joseph's character. Joseph, which one of y'all want to be the victim for Darrell?
The victim.
Which one of y'all want to get the help?
I'm
y'all?
just looking to see.
Okay. So there, I'll let you both look at it. Give it a few seconds. So you see where they superpower is, right?
Yeah. I feel like I'm more of that than homegirl is, right? Because she's a D, ain't she?
Yeah, that's why I was like, I don't want you to play it.
Yeah.
That'll be too close to you. That's why I was like, nah, I'd rather it do be Ebony. Because she's more of a high I and a high D. I think, Ebony, wasn't your I higher than your D? Yeah, she's more of a high I.
Okay.
She got some D qualities, but her I is there. So that's why I think this would be good for her to, And so reason why these exercises as well with the reps work for you to recognize who's in front of you. When you see this, you know the type of attitude or personality that they're going to bring you. You know what I'm saying? So, Darrell, what do you need? You need to see the whole kit and caboodle?
Yeah, let me get page 1819.
Yeah.
Hey, I literally went over one of the assessments with one of my peoples before we got to class too.
Oh, okay. Look, man, you got 30 minutes, Darrell.
Uh,
Because I want to hear. I know a bunch of y'all sent some of y'all people came back, and I sent it back to you. So I want to know how that went. I want y'all to share that with the class.
Yeah.
This is very clear. Okay. I think on here is a little bit different. What do we continue improvement? Oh, here we go.
I was gonna say it's updated, ain't it?
Well, it's because this one includes the value, so the pages is off. The disc by itself is page 18. You right, but on here it's different.
It's 20 on that one, ain't it?
21.
21. All right. Because I know the one that you sent me was the same.
So can y'all see that?
Mm-hmm.
This is how you prefer to receive info, Ebony.
Mm-hmm.
And then you also should look at Ebony as well in y'all work that I gave y'all. You should look at the one where it shows the pilot, the stewardess, the groundskeeper.
Yeah.
He's definitely, well, no, he's an air traffic controller. Okay, so understanding that as well, because I hope you've been studying, going through your work to understand these people as they talk to you. So, and that's the work that when you start letting them know that you be thinking like this, is this some of the things that in the area, that's when they looking at you amazing, like, oh my God, how you know this? You follow what I'm saying? And that's where they start like, okay, I gotta have you work with me because how you know me just from this assessment. One other thing I do is, which is also good, when you have this, because I've studied it, looked through it enough, and the more I'm talking to people, but I look at it and I've looked at mine, I'll tell a person who they are before they've even, or what I see or observe from their personality, from their behaviors, without them even taking it.
I didn't caught myself doing that.
Yeah, it's like at the group that we was at with Lonzy. Oh man, I left out of there with a few people that was like, yeah, I need this work. I got a few clients from that, and they hadn't taken the assessment. I just spoke to them. One dude was like, man, tell me who I am. What do you think you see in me? And I was like, you're a high eye. And Ebony and Durant and Lonzy was like, yup. And he was like, no, man, I think I'm all of them because I can talk to each one of these people. I said, that's your adaptive. You being able to talk to an eye, you matching their energy. That's great. You can do that, but you definitely, because he came in like your boy Johnny with all these, with the pad asking questions. And I was like, man, this must be a high C. But then I had to remember, I don't be doing that. I just pay attention enough attentively. If I knew it was a classroom, I would do it. And once I took Johnny's assessment, he was a high C. Because Lonzy thought that, man, he must be a high D because he asking all these questions. I'm like, nah, man, he's a high I. He's a high I. He was extreme high I. He just had questions and questions because that was him operating in his C, trying to get as much information because of the opportunity of, as far as he wanted to know. So he gonna pay attention. But he asking so many questions that he was taking up the room.
Oh, wow.
So I was like, oh, he a high I. Because a C gonna ask calculated questions that get the ball jumping. A C, a high I, can ask multiple questions because they ain't ashamed of being in, man, S's and C's will rarely raise their hand to ask the question. But when they ask the question, it is precise to what they want the answer for. It ain't no vague, all over the place answer. Him continuously ask, because I'd be like, used to be real afraid to ask a question, be wanting to know and don't answer the question. You follow what I'm saying? because you're so conscious of how others might look at you. A high I don't give a damn. It'll be like, hey. They'll be in there doing like this with you. I don't understand this. You got to break that down. You got to, and you'll be like, yeah, but the high C is over there going, ooh, good answer, good question. Yep, ask another one. They want ask another question. They want all that information you asking. That's I was thinking about that. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, is this good?
Yeah.
Okay. Give me. Oh, this. Yeah, you need this too. Now this is good information, especially when you're talking to the client. But I believe that sheet that I gave y'all that talks about how the C is and the information that's all in there from the air traffic controller, the pilot, that's really the holy grail right there. Mm-hmm. You see that? I mean, when you recognize that about the person, that this is how they respond, this is how they react, that's really what you want to hit them with. You definitely need this because this gets a little bit more detail, but the air traffic controller, the pilot, the whole nine, that one gives like a little bit more of a blanket because it's been a few like, okay, this was them, that was them, but this other part wasn't them. But it definitely gives you more of a how I want to put this, arsenal that when you speak this, that can you be a little stubborn? Can you be a little set in your ways? Oh, they'll open up. It's like you hit the nail on the head. You hit that button and they'll start talking, telling you more stuff. So you let me know when you're ready.
Oh, I'm ready.
You ready? You ready? You ready? You ready, Ebony?
Yes.
Oh, see, she even slow down. Yeah, she got that D attitude, that C attitude already. All right, Darrell.
All right. I'm trying to get it to where I can see Ebony. It just got you up there right now.
Oh, for real? Yeah, I had to change mine. What's mine? Mine won't let me.
Do you know how to change that?
You should have a.
It should be like a view thing and it's right a little symbol.
Yeah, right on.
Every time she talk, it pop up.
Oh, when she talk, it pops to her, but you want to be able to see her. That has to do with the You should on the very top. You should have it to where you can change where it's box section by section, because I got all four of y'all right out in front of me.
Yeah. Is there a view in the right hand corner up at the top?
You said a view?
It's a view.
No, mine just
or at the very top, it has view options.
Mm-hmm. Mine, I got like two boxes. I got a straight line, a box, and then stutter boxes. You follow what I'm saying? Can you see it? Do you see her now?
No.
Hold on. I think there's another way I can do this. I can give you control of the meeting.
I seen the most funniest thing on Instagram, and I guess the teacher didn't know how to use the Zoom class, so she let one of the students control the session, and they kept kicking her out of the class every time.
That's messed up.
And she's like, I don't know what's going on. Like, what's going on? And then, like, she'll find a way to log back in, and he'll kick her right back out. It's like, something seems to be strange. Like, I'm like, man.
That's messed up.
And they're kids, though. They, like, middle school. Like,
Oh, well, that's why.
Right. You got it, Darrell?
No, I still ain't got it.
Meeting info. Hold on. I forgot how to do this, man. Shop. There's a way I can share the...
See, I think mine might be different because I'm on my iPad right now.
Okay. Well, no delays. We can see her.
All right. Ring, ring, ring.
Hello.
Hey, how you doing today, Evan?
I'm pretty good.
How you feeling? Everything all right? How your week been?
It was good. I didn't do too much.
Okay. Well, as we had it already said, I'm giving you your call today about your assessment that you took not too long ago. You remember taking it?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So
yeah, I was kind of curious
So what you curious about?
on what it was going to read back.
Oh, well, basically it just reads back your behavior style and your communication style and things of that nature. But we can just jump right into it.
Okay.
The first thing I want to ask you, well, first off, I'm gonna start off by letting you know I took a couple notes. So if you ever see me look down or anything like that, it's because I'm writing notes and just going back over them. That's all right with you?
Yep.
Okay. So the first thing I want to ask you is, what did you hope to get from the assessment?
Just to know a little more about myself. I don't really, do too much as far as with around other people. So just so that I know what I'm good at, or I just want to know myself better. And I'm kind of shy, so.
Okay, I understand. How you intend on using the information you will get today? Like how would you use it for like your goals and things of that nature?
I know that I should be a little more outgoing. I don't, I want to know my talent. So if I'm sitting on the back end of things, I don't really know what all I could do.
Okay, so pretty much you looking for clarity.
Right.
Okay, I got you. So what type of goals are you working towards right now?
I just want to, well, right now I'm working, I'm a caseworker,
Okay.
and, it does involve talking, but at the same time, I don't really feel like that's what I want to do. I just kind of want to work by myself. So I don't know if that's how do you want to put it? A self-esteem thing, or if I'm just better as working alone.
Okay, so the group setting it don't fit with you really?
No.
Okay.
And I don't know if it's because I don't really, I talk to people all day, but just being comfortable with talking to them, on a constant. You have to ask a lot of questions, and they have a lot of questions. So I don't like doing all that talking.
Okay. So then the only other thing is that I want to ask you is, what other challenges besides just talking to people, like basically your communication with other people and things of that nature? What other challenges are you finding at work or at home or anywhere like that?
Like I said, the challenges, I think that I need to be a little more outgoing, but I just don't. I don't know what it is. I don't know. Sometimes I think I'm boring.
Just from my conversation, I don't want to think you're boring. It's just, I think I can help you with what you're looking for at this moment. What I want to do is I want to take you to page 3 real quick.
Okay.
All right. This right here, this basically is how the DISC assessment can help you. Pretty much like it says, the research conducted by the Intramatrix shows that most successful people share one common trait, which is self-awareness. You scroll down a little bit. So then this area right here, this is what pretty much what this assessment can help you with. It can help you with taking a closer look at your behavior dimensions, like I said once before. It also can help you with your communication, tips on how you like to communicate and be communicated with. And it also can help you with finding your ideal job, well, job climate, I would say. Like the work environment, like you said, social work is something that's not really fitting for you, you feel, and you feel that you can find, to a certain degree, something else that could possibly have you being more you than working out of your most harmonious place, correct?
Right.
All right, so I'm just taking a few notes real quick. I don't want to miss nothing. That way we can have it to go back over. All right.
Okay, no problem. I'm just reading what all is here.
All right. So what else was you reading right there?
Well, the fact that it could help me decide if this is the job for me or if it's something that I need to do or what. That's one good thing. And more so the strengths. I know I could do more. It's just a matter of putting myself out there.
All right. So yeah, this right here, it'll help you be able to put yourself more out there and make you a little bit more aware of yourself. And that way, it'll just give you that information that will, to a certain degree, what it sounds like is make you feel whole again. Does that make sense?
Okay. Yep.
So then let me just give you a little bit of information about the assessment and everything and how it was created. Scroll down a little more. You're looking for Dr. William Marston. All right, so the DISC assessment here was created by, well, basically most of the information and stuff was founded by Dr. William Marston back in the 1920s. He was a behavioral psychologist. He's also the inventor of the lie detector test. And another fun fact about him is he's also the inventor of the character Wonder Woman. Are you into DC characters at all?
Oh yeah, because I watch a lot of TV. So
Yeah. So what I say is, in my belief about it, is he's the originator of basically keeping it 100.
Okay.
The reason I say that is because, see how to say it to you. The reason I say that is because most of his work is based off of not only being honest with yourself, but also being honest and knowing the environment around you. Okay. So that way, just being real with yourself and being more self-aware of yourself and the environment that you're in.
Okay.
So I'm gonna take you back down to page 5, and I'm gonna explain pretty much basically what this really helps you with. So pretty much what this helps you with is the behavior styles in the different styles, pretty much. We're gonna start off with the high D. Pretty much what the D is the decisive style. It helps you with how you tend to solve problems. So with that being said, it pretty much helps you, I wouldn't say help you, but what it pretty much does is it's the category that helps you, like I said, solve problems. And most of the times, what it's based upon is the little to no time that it takes for you to make a decision for your problem.
Okay.
You get what I mean? To solve it. The next thing we're going to slide over to is the interactive. It's pretty much how you tend to interact with people and others to share your opinions and everything like that. The next style is your stabilizing style. It's the pace that you tend to move in your environment with, and also to a certain degree how you help to support people around you and things of that nature.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And if I'm ever going too fast, just let me know and I can slow down for you.
Okay.
And then the last one there is your cautious. It's the cautious. Pretty much the way that you tend to follow established procedures and protocols. Things that's basically like rules and regulations that's been set in place for you to be successful, how you tend to go along with those things.
Okay.
So what I'll explain to you is pretty much when keep going to the graph. So pretty much when you're looking at this in a whole, the graph and everything, pretty much what I'm gonna start off with is with the D. Pretty much with the D, like I said, is how you tend to solve your problems and things of that nature. But the other part about that is when you tend to work with someone that's a high D, they can be seen more as an aggressive type of person. They're very result driven, straight to the point. They don't want no meat. They want all meat, no fat. They want to get straight to it. They don't want too much of sometimes they'll see like all of the facts and things like that as a headache to try to sit there and worry about. Also, they can be great leaders, but the other thing about it is they also can be, let me see how to say this, they can be short to pay attention to details, if that makes sense for you.
Right.
Like with people, the environment, not really the task at hand. The task at hand, they're always on top of it. But it's basically how they're leading the people there, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Go ahead.
No, I was just saying okay, because I understand that as far as with me, myself.
Okay.
It depends on what it is.
So what you mean by that?
So on one aspect, I know what I may want to do, but at the same time, I overthink it because I want it done right. I don't want to, have to redo something because I made a mistake, but at the same time, I want it done correctly.
Okay, so pretty much a lot of the times you're in your head thinking about how it's going to get done instead of doing it sometimes.
Right.
Okay, I can understand that. I can understand that a lot. So pretty much what have you ever seen that as a problem for yourself?
Like you were saying, sometimes when I'm making decisions, I may overthink something that could have been done, thought of in a simpler fashion. I'll say that. Let me think. So, for instance, how I go about my work day. I may go through and I have my times where I'm set up to call people back at this time. I don't answer the phone at this time. But when I do, or if I see a phone call that's coming in and I know I need to take, I'm like, oh, should I call them? Should I not call them? Because that's going to throw my day off. And I want to stay on track. But that'll bother me for the rest of the day because I didn't talk to them at that time. I could have got that done and over with. And I don't know. Sometimes I go back and forth with decisions.
Okay. So do it ever feel like you procrastinating or anything like that?
I don't want to say procrastinating. I don't know. I just want it done right. I can't, and it takes me time to get it done correctly because I don't want to backtrack. That's just my biggest thing. I don't like backtrack.
So it's like pretty much you moving with that meticulous pace, it's almost like a methodic pace that you're moving with to make sure you're doing everything correctly so you don't have to go back and do it again.
Yeah, and I know everybody can't be perfect, but it's just a matter of wasting time.
Okay, I got you. So the thing is that I want to pretty much get in here and look at a little bit because I don't want to waste none of your time or anything like that because I see that that's like your most important.
No, I'm listening. I got time to listen now.
Oh yeah,
I'm not trying to cut you off.
Oh no, you all right. This is your session. I want to learn as much as I can about you so I can help you be the best version of you possible.
Okay.
The thing is, pretty much what you're telling me, and from what your assessment shows, is pretty much why your pace and everything is kind of, how you say, slowish almost, or methodic, I would say. It's a lot of times you're operating out of your high C there.
Okay.
What I mean about that is the high C is pretty much, like I told you, that way that you see rules, protocols, and procedures. So the thing is, you're a real systematic person.
Mm-hmm.
So with you being a very systematic person, to other people, it might seem like you move slower than most, but the thing is, you still can make decisions pretty decisively.
Mm-hmm.
Just by me looking at your whole assessment and looking at your D as well. But the thing is, like I was saying, you really operate out of that C a lot. And with you operating out of that C, I want to go down to page 5 to you so we can get a little bit more in depth with it.
Okay.
See, with you moving out of your C a lot. I'm trying to just move the picture real quick. Well, with you moving out of your C a lot, pretty much what these words right here represent are pretty much like where you fall at on that graph, like how it said you are 88C.
Oh.
So pretty much. Oh, go ahead.
No, I was just saying okay because I see some words that I could recognize.
So which word do you see fit more for you?
Definitely systematic, and I mean that's part of me being careful, or that's why I have a system because I want to be careful with what I'm doing. So those for the most part, I know that like I said, I know that I can't be perfect, but I want it right when I do it.
I get what you mean. because that's what I was gonna say. Like pretty much, what it is those numbers that's right under your bars on that graph. It pretty much lays out here where you fall at pretty much. So like you said, you see systematic as one of the words that you carefully associate yourself with. So when we start from the bottom, not counting challenging, but if we start at careless, rebellious, independent, balanced, neat, orderly, analytic, careful, you fall right in there, that systematic, that careful, analytical spot. You see what I'm talking about?
Mm-hmm.
Those three words, we used to put them in a box. Would you say that kind of fits towards you?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. Do you see any other words that kind of sit out to you, or stand out, I should say?
I mean, like I said before, some independence, like I said, I'm more so, I think I thrive better off of working alone or, you know, being alone. That's just more so how I operate. And I don't know if sometimes it seems like it's a bad thing, but I just get more accomplished. I want it, because when I involve other people, it's like they don't do it the way that I would do it or how I think it should be done. So it's kind of easier to alleviate other people so that I ain't got to backtrack and go do what needed to be done the way that I feel like it should have been done.
I understand what you mean. It's kind of like, pretty much, if we do it right the first time, we ain't got to go back and do it again.
Yes.
So
Yes.
I can understand where you're coming from. The other thing I want to do is I'm going to take you back up to page 2 so I can basically jump in here and explain your natural and your adapters, right?
Okay.
So pretty much with your natural style, it is how you behave when you are being the most natural, most harmonious. That's what the colors represent pretty much. It's pretty much showing like basically when all of these right here are connected and they just all riding together. That's when you at your most natural state. You getting the most work done, you doing the most you can. And like you said, basically you getting everything done at the pace you want to, and you also getting it right. Also with your, now on the other side of that is your adaptive side. With the adaptive style, that's pretty much when you feel that you're being almost like watched or being paid close attention to, you become, it's like you almost dial it back a little bit. And once you dial it back, that's that area that can start to cause a little bit of stress and a little bit of, let's see how to say this. It'll cause a little bit of stress and a little bit of like headache on your side. Like you said, with sometimes trying to lead other people and they not moving at the correct pace and everything, it can be harder for you to work with. You get what I mean?
Yeah, or when I'm being rushed.
Yeah.
I don't like being rushed to do something, or like at work, we got deadlines. Yeah, we got deadlines, but I don't want to have to redo or go back and fix something that, you know, I'm just backtracking. That's just my thing. I just try to avoid, but don't rush me.
I get what you mean. I've been caught up in that place as well. Like I'm getting the job done. Just let me do it the best way I know how.
Right.
It's like if you don't let me do it the best way I know how, then it might not never get done.
Or it ain't no point in doing it.
Exactly. So I understand exactly where you're coming from. Pretty much what I'm gonna explain to you at this point is, if you scroll it up just a little bit. No, up. So I can see the whole graph. So pretty much what I'm gonna explain to you is basically what I'm seeing here with your whole assessment as a whole and everything. Like I said, with that, you have a nice D on you. And the thing is, that means you can make pretty decisive decisions. Like pretty much when you have a problem that comes at you, you can pretty much, if you got the time, you can knock it out within that time because you didn't have time to think about it and analyze everything about the situation.
Yeah.
On the other hand of that, just like you said, sometimes when you feel like you're being rushed, once you start to get rushed, you kind of dial it back and you take more time to think about things, correct? Is that like a good assumption?
Yeah, it'll bother me, especially when you're trying to get me to hurry up and get something done. I may hurry up and get it done, but it still bother me like, oh, did I look at this or did I cross this T and did I dot this I? Yeah.
That's because at that moment when you pretty much worrying about getting it done, at that moment you could be operating out of that seat I was telling you about earlier. You could be operating out of there and you're thinking a lot about what's going on. And not to some degree, you're not really worried about your pace, but at the same breath, you got to realize that like you said, you got to meet that deadline. But the thing is, with being that high C, sometimes you can get caught up in your own head that you might be in your own way. So, what was that thought right there?
Like so you're saying that or sometimes when I overthink, I'm probably like making it a bigger deal than what it needs to be.
Sometimes, not all the time. It might just be a possibility that you might just be overthinking the decision that you're making. So therefore, once you start to overthink that decision, you start to take more time off the clock. But as you taking time off the clock, that clock's still ticking. So the thing is, it's almost like, you know the story, The Turtle and the Hare? It's pretty much you kind of being that turtle.
Yeah.
And as you watching that hare overlap you start to think about it more. So instead of jogging, you start to walk. And then once you start to go into a speed walk, but then after that speed walk, you start to go into a trot. You know, once we start to trot, we're not moving as fast as we could move. So it's like if you, to a certain degree, with you being caught up in your own head, you letting that hare just pass you and lap you and lap you and lap you. And then that's still causing another problem for you.
Because I don't like that.
Exactly. Because you seeing it, so as you see it, you're kind of analyzing it like, dang, he done went 4. Or he done went 5. You know what? I might as well just go ahead and sit down at this point and get a drink of water.
Yeah. Or, I mean, I can be competitive at a certain point. Like you said, if somebody keep doing laps around me, now one side of me is say, was that lap done correctly? But at the same time, I don't want you beating me either.
Yeah.
So
I can get what you mean.
So that's probably what you mean when you say I may be holding myself back or I'm going back and forth with certain decisions.
Exactly. It's almost like one of those 2 steps forward, 4 steps back. It's one of those type of motions. Right here with the graph, is it anything that looks like awkward to you or something that you want to know more about?
With so you said with the gray, that's how I am when I'm either being watched or it's really being paid attention to, or I am rather.
Yes.
So with the yellow, the gray is above.
Yeah. So what that means is pretty much when you feel like someone's paying attention to you or they're watching you closely almost, or you're basically being somewhat aware, like that let me see, I said, it's almost like one of those things you kind of being aware that you're moving at that slow pace. What that yellow is your interaction with people. So pretty much once you start to get into your adapter, which is that gray area, what you'll start to do is you'll start to raise, and then you could possibly be more interactive with people to some degree, or you might just start giving a little bit more energy than what you naturally do. Have you ever found yourself doing that?
Yeah, it's tiring.
Yeah. So it's
I
like,
mean, yeah.
go ahead.
No, just trying to, I guess, appease people, or like when I'm in a room or I'm in a crowd, I kind of feel like overwhelmed a little bit because it's work trying to run with the crowd, and I got to be sociable. And I mean, it's just like it can be a little much, but at the same time, I'll find myself like, who am I? Who is this person? Because I don't normally talk to people like that.
Okay. That's pretty much when you're working out of that adaptive area. It's almost like one of those things like almost like you move up because you're trying to figure out where you fit at right now with the people around you. Make sense?
Mm-hmm.
And then the other thing I wanted to talk to you about, because I know I didn't spend no time really on it, but with that green there, that S, like I was telling you earlier, that's the stabilizer, or the stabilizer, I should say.
Mm-hmm.
It's almost that basically the pace and the flow that you like to move with in your environment. When we talk about environment, it's pretty much three things that we're really looking at. It is, let's see how to say it. I want to say with your environment, it's pretty much work, home, and recreation. Some people say it's a fourth one, like a fourth area that we'll look at, but in all honesty, I don't think nobody really look at that one because that pretty much when you die, that nobody's observing you at that point.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if it makes sense,
Yeah.
like you're not worried about nobody observing you at that point. It's
Right.
game over at that point. I'm sorry to say it that way. But
Yeah, I got you.
yeah. So with that being said, pretty much with that S, it's basically how you tend to move in your environment. Like you said, when you're at work or when you're doing things that you pretty much like to do almost,
Mm-hmm.
you're moving at kind of a methodic pace. And then can you scroll down for me to page 5? Oh, it ain't page 5. We're here to the word chart. So then when we start to look at your pace, you see those words right there?
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry about that. So with those words right there, you start to, we're gonna go down and go up. You kind of like in that, when you move in like the most natural, at your most natural pace and everything, you pretty much at that consistent, that stable, consistent, steady pace right up in that area.
Yeah.
It's like you can be outgoing and everything, but a lot of times you're pretty much more in that spot where that's where you're comfortable at, just with the consistency.
Mm-hmm.
Is that like a good assumption?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. So then the next thing I want to ask you is, was there any moment during any of this that like shined a little light for
Just the fact that when you said I may be in my own way sometimes,
you? Mm-hmm.
then I guess that's where I need to learn how to not overthink, I guess, but to be able to make good decisions in confidence.
Yes, I get what you mean. Let's see. y'all should go ahead and critique it because I can feel myself moving in my adaptive a lot.
We can't hear you.
Unmute yourself, Joe.
All right.
What did you y'all? You ready?
Yeah, I started off. I could feel myself going to my adaptive, and I was on point a little bit with this, but
Yeah,
You did good.
I wasn't, to a certain degree, I wasn't at where I wanted to be at, if that makes sense.
I'm gonna let Joe go.
My own way.
Go ahead, Joe.
Go ahead, Joe.
Joe, what you think before I say it?
I think with him, I seen a lot of it was more focused on like I don't know it was more like it was so to the script to the point where it was like I'm not gonna say to the like meaning where it was like you couldn't really get to know the person you know your personality couldn't come out because it's like you gotta be able to when you speaking to somebody is like you know like really make sure that person is on the same level of frequency and vibe you on like and I think you're kind of like it wasn't that you weren't doing what you were supposed to do. You did everything the right way. But I think that energy that you came with needed to be more confident. Like, you know, just in terms of like just wanting to, you know, just be able to help this person out in a way where that person can feel you. Like, yeah, you know, like, you know, make sure that person, like your enthusiasm it is just a little bit more up, you know. You did everything you were supposed to do, but I think let that enthusiasm, because a person like her, she, you know, she may jump off of, you know, feel your vibe and like, yeah, you know, it makes me feel comfortable.
Yeah, I get what you mean. I felt I was moving too much out of my seat and not enough out of my S or my I.
I was just about to say that. I was going to say you are a C, so that's probably
yeah. No, but the thing is, I was saying he did everything he was supposed to, but I think it was just more so like being more confident and like knowing himself, like you know, just knowing who you know where he at in his energy.
Yeah,
more aware.
I can agree with that. I think you were operating in your natural. You were going in and out, but because you know you're being watched, Darrell.
That's what it is. You already know.
You were in your adaptive, but I was like, okay, he in his adaptive, he in his head, and you were doing everything systematically. You was killing it. Like you was going down the line. I was like, okay, he on point. He been studying. And so it's like, but then you got right to it happened when you were going so smooth until you had to backtrack because I saw it was like, okay, he skipped step 2.
Yeah.
And he didn't show her the natural, I'm sorry, which is number 6. He didn't go to the natural and the adaptive when he had the moment of the graph when you were here and you were here, you took her to this, I'm sorry, no. You were here and you explained this is the how you tend to problems, boom, boom, boom. You explained them perfectly. You didn't give her maybe you could have given a little bit more example of the D as far as the person. And what I would say to you as well, I want you to embody your what is yours? Emerald? What is it? My brain just went fart.
Yeah.
Your brain just went fart?
Yeah, I just had a brain fart.
I know what you're talking about. The embody my interpretation of the assessment.
Exactly, but that'll come in time. So I get that. You know, you'll learn that and say, you know, this is your emerald, this is your, you know what I'm saying, canary diamond, however you're going to put that across. But nonetheless, that was still good. But when you got to that part and you explained the behaviors of the I, the D, the I, the S, the C, that's when you know, asking her, do you recognize somebody like that? And do she see anybody who operates in this D? Or did she recognize when she's operating in that? You know what I'm saying? Somewhere along those lines. Once you got to that point, you went right to revealing the gap. You went right to telling her, this is the area, you know, this is your superpower. And you were trying to help her make that connection, and then you said, and you did it real smooth. You said, let me take you back to this one part. I don't even know if you said take you back. You said, I want to show you this. And you said, boom, and you start hitting the naps. I said, okay, he pulled it back. I was like, that's smooth, because she don't know. She don't know where you at. So I was like, oh, he covered that gracefully, because I was like, oh, I wrote it down. He skipped that part. But
I knew I did, but that's when I was like, I got to get back on track.
And that's when you got off track and you got more into your adaptive. You didn't know where to go. And you were like, you jumped around. And if you're looking at the page, you follow this. When you hit the natural, those recommended questions are to do you notice how you use yours daily? Your up and down. Do you notice this? Can you see it in others? Do you notice these characteristics of somebody being an I or being an S or being so supportive? And can that person, which is the biggest one, can you tell that you operating in your own adaptive when you going up and you going down? I'm gonna throw this out there too. Ebony, you embodied that perfect.
I swear.
Beautiful. I was like, oh man, this chick is a C. How would she do that, bro? I mean, you the thoughts of it, hitting him with it, no, I'm in my mind, which reason why I want to congratulate y'all both on that is because, Ebony, you recognizing that, so you recognize the behavior of the C. You're recognizing that behavior of the D. You see it. So when you see it and understand it and you able to get in that person's head, you was telling me, you were saying things that I'm like, that's exactly what I know this person. So I'm like, that's exactly what they be doing.
That's what's up.
I was like, that's exactly how they be thinking. Like, yeah, I get in my way and I'm thinking, I want to win, but then I was like, that was golden, which is an attribute to, like I said, whoever sits in front of you, you already gonna recognize it. If you can emulate it, that means you're studying and you're paying attention to these behaviors in people. You follow what I'm saying? So when you sit down with them, it's gonna come off. You're gonna be able to rattle it out. Oh, this is the stuff, this is who you are, blah, 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 or not who you are. These are your tendencies. We gotta make sure we use that correct language now. These are your tendencies, this is your preference, this is your superpower. So now, Darrell, when you went back to that natural, and even once you went back to the natural adaptive, and you started revealing the gap, you really was done. You really was done. You left out a part where how this goes down, but you were talking to her and she was already open to that. And you explained the word chart. It was really time to get the money. It was time now to talk. When you finally did hit her and say, what was your aha moment? I was like, okay, you finna wrap this up. You done now.
Yeah, that's all I was gonna say. You could have cut me off right there.
You went to, well, let me explain your S. Like, no, you was done. Really, you was done. Because that's the part of it. Look, I know me, and sometimes I'll overgive. And you don't have to, because this is all we revealing to them. Once you led her into it, as far as which is the one that you want to tackle, because we only got 30 minutes. But you led her right into the C, because this is our superpower, because that's usually normal. They're gonna look at that, see the gap, want to talk about it, so you can get them the option or lead them right to it. You did. As soon as you led her into that, and that's what we was talking about, this is not an option. These are no longer an option. This is what they want to come back to find out.
Yeah, I noticed when she she was more speaking about her personal stuff, like this and things in that nature. That's when it was like that. Oh yeah, she where she's supposed to be at. Like she gets it.
Yeah, she get it. She gave it to you. When you gave her the C, it was like that was extra, but you didn't have to give her, the S. And it was like, I was like, okay, he throwing a little extra on there, but I'm like, she already ready. As far as your procedures going through it. So I was like, this is not what we're talking about, the deep dive. We finna, you gonna suggest, I do 90-day increments or 30-day increments to really get a change. You wanna do it in 90 days. It's kind of like working out. That's when I'm hitting them with that, how you wanna go about that. Once they hit the aha moment, this is what I suggest monthly as far as our meeting. Then now I'm asking, how valuable do you think this was to you?
Mm-hmm.
I ain't
This
gonna lie.
information.
All right, you already know because you explained this to me perfectly. As soon as, like you said, I knew I was done when I was done explaining the C and I could see it in her. And then something in me was like, all right, even I got it on the page. It's like basically ask for the job, the money.
Why didn't you?
Because I don't know why, but it was
You
just
was
like,
acting in your adaptive.
it was like, should I charge this person really to help them? Like,
Oh Lord!
I ain't gonna lie, that's what exactly went in my head. That's why I'm like, let me just stop because I don't know what's going on.
But you were
right now.
You still could have. It was a fumble, but it was a fumble that you dropped it and you can see where the ball is and still pick it back up, and she wouldn't have known. So I was like, and then you was like, look, y'all, just go to stuff. I'm like, ah!
It was hard.
You dropped it in the end zone. Pick it back up.
It was hard for me to try to ask that. Like, so what you trying to pay?
Now that's and that's the thing.
That's that S.
That's that C. Because you overthought it.
Yeah.
You were overthinking it, and it was like you were right there. Now I done did this enough to where, okay, I done finally overcome it because I'm seeing the value in myself and what I'm bringing and what this tool is. So it's like we gotta eventually get over that. Oh, it took a minute. Oh my God, it took a minute. I ain't even gonna lie. I'm a high S. I'm a high C. I was in my head like, when do I ask them? So when I'm worried about asking for that price, which is me really saying how valuable I am, my esteem or me looking at myself, who wants to pay me? Who's gonna give me this? This thing is gonna bring out your own issue.
Gotcha.
That you have to face in order to boom, get to the point that you want. Mm-hmm. You hear what I'm saying? Yeah. And when we're so worried about what the other person, we're basically counting their pockets, but we counting their pockets from the position of I ain't got that. And what gives me the right to ask for that? And it's like everything gives you the right to ask for that. Yeah. You doing the work. You the one that's worthy of this. So get it. And because that's how the only way you're gonna receive it. You gotta ask.
I finally gotten to that point myself, like where I look at it as just part of the assessment, like part of the, just the questions you ask on a piece of paper. Like, okay, now we got to get to this part. Like, so that's part of the job. So like,
exactly, it's part of it. So you can look at it that way. Now, when you start asking for the price and the different things like that, or where that person is, that's gonna change because the more you do this and the more you talk about it, the more we go through these getting your reps in, the stronger you're going to be to where you finally build the confidence enough. Now, you're going to get it as you go. And I had instruction when my coach was like, look, man, you training somebody, don't ask no lower than $500. I was like, huh? He said, if you coaching somebody to be this coach, do not ask any lower than $500. Because he like, you going to give this stuff away for $100 a month and be working your butt off and not receive the actual due. But at least, bottom line, don't do it no lower than $500. Now I'm looking at it like, man, I've been selling myself short. I should ask for a G. New students, but I was like, okay, this is me learning. This is my period. Boom, I'm building my confidence. I'm good with there. It finally got confident enough in me that 500. I was like, that really ain't no money.
Especially what made me feel comfortable when I was at work one time and I was just breaking down to her like what I do in terms of like what we're working at. She was like, "How much you charge?" I was like, when she said that, like I went off rip how you charge us. So I'm like, well, basically, $500 a month for $100 a week. That's a starting point, but. When I said it, I was more comfortable saying that because that's what I do now. But if I'm more confident in my work, then I will probably up the price. Like if
exactly,
I really
exactly,
because that's what.
Exactly, but that confidence is gonna come by the more we do this, by the more we not just the fact that we do this because this is once a week, right? But the more you study this stuff, the more you read it, the more you
put that TV aside. I'm telling you, get these other things that's important, but read this stuff, man, because the more it's in you, that's information that you're studying on that makes you more valuable, because this is knowledge based. And then we sprinkle your already experiences and the things you worked on in yourself to become the person that you are, and you start embodying this yourself and getting better, you worth the wisdom that's in you.
And I'm the same way as Darrell. So like, I kid you not. Like, you know, my value on like the importance of like trying to tell people about like the cost is it is scary to me, because it's like that's not my agenda. Like that's what I don't really try to focus on. But like with that being said,
that's where I had to look at my I had to look at this.
Mm-hmm.
I got a low economic. My altruist wanting to help people, it was high. It was high. Ebony ain't got that problem. She finna ask that money. Hey, this go. If they say that.
But let me say this.
Cost, she like, boom, give me that money.
No, but let me say this. Once y'all been through this process with Antoine already, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, so if you think about it, the value in what you found out after you were done, or your outcome after you were done, just think about where that's going to take them, or where it took you or got you to.
Yeah.
So it's, when you think of it that way, to me, when I went through it, it was way more valuable. I mean, Antoine charged $500 a month, but in the end, now I'm done writing a book. How much is they gonna make off that book? Or how much they gonna make off of where they gonna work at next time? Because it is one investment. So give my $500.
Right.
You're gonna be making way more than that. Once you know who you are, you're gonna be way more valuable than what you were when you got
Absolutely. Thank you for saying that, because that's where it takes you to the next step where you like, wait a minute. I'm charging below. And then the more research I do, looking at other life coaches, what they charge, they funnel, how they getting clients coming in. When you stand up there and now you telling people, this is what I understand about this type of person, about the S, the D, the I, the C, the whole nine, and you understanding these values and what that brings, man, the last client I had, I was so mad at myself because I was still in automatic mode. And I said 500, but I was thinking 1,000. And I said 5, and they was like, okay, not a problem. I got you. And I was like, afterwards, I was like, okay, good. Then I was like, God dang it, why did I do that? Why did I get in my own head? And I was aware of it, and I should have told him at least 6 to 7. But either way, he was good. He was like, no. I want you just for this as well, personal, but I really want you to help me in my marriage because I got these fears and I think this way and blah, blah, blah. He was basically telling me, if I divorce, if that happens because of an infidelity, I'm going to be paying way more, bruh, than $1,000 a month. So he was like, I don't want that to happen. So whatever you charging, I'm good with it because it ain't that price. And I ain't at that price yet. So I had to tell him, okay, it's 500 for you. I'm gonna send one, have your wife take it. If that's good, if y'all want to sit down together, then that's 1,000 a person. And he was like, okay, no problem. We go do this. And I'm sitting there like, because of my assessment, the economic not being high and my altruist is higher, I'm more conditioned to serve than to get the money to actually sustain me, my family, and my business and what I'm doing. And we got to learn to understand that and maybe reverse it, being aware of it. You know what I'm saying?
Because balance it.
Yeah, balance it. You know,
you need both. I don't care what y'all say.
I know. The Ebony gonna teach us in that. You need both. You doing this, you doing that. This is your value, and she right. So it's like the self-awareness comes in to the success that you know your value. Even though I want to help people, it's like, okay, I know I'm helping people. I know I can help you. Then I need to get what it is worth so that my time and money, because this is my high C, I'm worrying about my time versus my pay,
making sure that it balances. I'm not giving, you're taking all my time, but I'm only getting $1. My wife was showing me that. She was like, based on what you're getting, this is how much you actually get in an hour. You getting less than what you get at work. And it was like, oh. I said, but I ain't at that stage to really draw it all in with confidence and knowing. And she was like, whatever. Yes, you are. Because if you sitting here doing this, it is. So at least keep that base price, but we got to look futurely to grow. She said, let everybody know new next time coming in that this is just your opening company cost. You just opened up. This is what I'm charging on the low to get everybody in. But hey, help me out. Refer, make some references, different things like that. Boom, boom, boom. But you got to start charging higher. In addition to charging higher, you got to increase your social media presence about what you do. So when you're increasing that, you're talking about that, you got some testimonies from people who you are helping that are saying this went well, blah, blah, blah. That's what you're posting. That's what you're putting out. That's the credibility. That's what's going to bring you more revenue, because then other people are seeing that, and then they're now acquiring your services, saying, I want to be helped the same way you help this person. How can you help me? They're going to come in, well, because they're going to be expecting you charge something.
Also, look at the fact that $500, people will be willing to spend that on who knows what.
Man, shoes, that's a coach purse, please.
So the fact that this gonna be way more worth than that purse, I mean.
And that's the part that you bring, that you speak to them. This is much more valuable, this self-awareness, to get over these obstacles, to get over you and me coaching you, keeping you on point. This is more valuable than a book, a car, a house, any of that. Because actually, this is what's going to help you obtain that when you have self-awareness. Exactly. So it's like you say your price, and you just got to be understandable to say, okay, then they just can't afford you. But if they really want you and they need it, they going to come back. I can't get you to, well, can we work out something? I told y'all, there was a woman, I told her how much. She said, I can't afford that. Can we work out something? Can we just have one session a month for $125? Can you do something? I was like, yes. Yes, because I'm going to help you increase. With that, tell your friends about me. I want you to tell everybody, I'm the man, I'm the man, I'm the man. You let them know, and they'll bring that to you. So, and then as you do your social media and all that increasing, it's just going to fold over into your hands. But Darrell, you did an excellent job. I do want you to pay attention to what Joe was saying.
Bring more of myself to
it. Be you. Gotcha. But that's going to come in time. We're going to keep doing this to where it comes off flow, comes off natural. You covered yourself. You was too worried about doing it perfect.
The thing is, we had this conversation.
And that's where his adaptive came in.
Exactly.
He was thinking of, oh, shoot, like I'm too much. Like I'm, like you're just thinking too much.
Yeah, and when you fell off, when you got off, and when you got off, you kept getting off, and it was like, oh, I done lost it. But it was like you was right there at the end zone, but wondering, should I cross it?
If somebody got I say this, and this is how I feel when I even said that, but if they have an aha moment, it's pretty much done at that
That's
point.
The wrap. It's a wrap. It's a wrap. When did you have any moments that made you say, but then you recognize them too? Because even when Anthony, that was beautiful. He said something to you, and he was like, what was that laugh right there? What was that? And you went into the thought of it, and I'm like, this lady is not a high C. But she went into the thought and told him that's an aha moment.
Listen, that's what threw me off too, because I'm like, hold on, she's doing too good. I'm like, I thought she was, because listen, as I'm doing it and I'm looking at her, I'm thinking in my head, like, I could have sworn she was a D, but she playing this C too good.
Dude, she killed
started messing with my head.
Oh, come on.
It was just that good. That's why I'm like, for now, like, that's why I need to be my partner. Like, if I can record everything, I would like to, please.
Right.
Because I'm like, in my head, I'm like, they said she a D, but she playing this C too good. Like,
she's an I. She's a higher I than her D. Her D was probably about at the same place as this one, I think. Because she rattled off some of her D stuff. She was like, yeah, because I am determined. I am competitive. I was like, that's Ebony right there. That's that D. She recognized it. And a little bit of her I with speaking was there. But when she went right back into that D, because I am shy, she threw that out there. I was like, oh, Negro.
Listen, and I'm like, that it confused me. I'm like, hold on, who am I dealing with here? I'm like, all right, I got to bring it back.
It was perfect. It was perfect. It was beautiful. No. And like I said, that just recognizes the studying that you're doing, the paying attention to the personalities. That's you see them.
I got to say this though. When I said, because I'm sitting here watching my daughter at one point, and Abe came in from work from training, and I said, well, I feel like I'm bored. He turned around and was like, you feel like you bored?
Like, what? That ain't you talking. Who is that?
Look, I had to write this.
Acting.
I said, oh, Lord, you about to think I'm 3 different people. Now I'm already a Gemini.
Right. Oh, man. This was beautiful. Like I said, that whole 9, this was one of the best. And that's what we want to be at. So definitely the more that we doing it, as we getting, because that's the side of when you're doing the acting or reenacting that person, you have an understanding of who it is, so you bring it. But that's also in the pages, the high I energy, gregarious. You be that when we're acting, so you know what you're looking at, and it's just gonna strengthen you. So when you're sitting down with a person, it don't throw you off. You know who you talking to. You can speak directly to them. Now when I do it, I don't even go look at page 18 and 19. I don't go there. I already know how they want to receive this information. And so you just match that, you know it, you talk to them, they find that aha moment. When you asking those questions that's on there, is really in asking the questions. The more questions you ask, the more the information they're going to give you. And they're going to come to their own understanding. And when they start looking at themselves, that's when they like, you guided them to it. It's time to ask for the money.
You was right there. I ain't even. You was right there.
Mm-hmm. I was gonna say
I would still paid.
You got paid.
Other thing I know I got to work on is being watched. Me and you had that conversation before.
Yeah.
Being watched. So.
Oh, I don't like that either. So you ain't the only one.
Right.
But I know why.
But
it'll put me in my head more when I know I'm being watched. I'm like, dang, I know I'm being watched, so I want to hit it like this.
You probably would have did perfect if Antoine was not right here. I bet you.
If it was just you one-on-one, it would have been smooth.
Yeah, I was gonna say whenever I do it like one-on-one with a person and I'm talking about it or just explaining it, even when I be talking with Joe and we be at work explaining it, I be on topic hitting it, and I like you give my personality and everything. But when I know it's a group setting and I'm being watched, I get more in my head, so I got to get out of that.
Right. Well, you're gonna get out of it by doing it more.
Yeah.
Because you're gonna gain confidence with what you know, especially you as a C. The C is gaining the confidence with the understanding of the protocol, the understanding of the way that it is done, and he has it down systematic, so you good to go. The D and the I, the D is gonna go with the confidence flat out. Oh, I know what I'm doing. Even if I mess up, I'm gonna get this. The I is speaking from, I'm confident, I'm gonna get this, and if I can draw you in with the emotion and make that connection, I got you. Remember, go back to that, where's that style?
That leadership thing?
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna pull up. We'll pull up the C.
And I almost did what I did with you, Antoine, when I told you I had all them pages up and I didn't even need them.
Right.
I almost started pulling stuff out of my book, and I'm like, hold on, you don't even need all that. This is all you need right here.
So remember this.
Yeah.
you know, as well as with the other information, but this is, you know, your leadership style. These are the people that you're talking to. This is how you help them get to that leader. Whoever you're talking to, I just grabbed the C because we're talking to Darrell. Focuses on the rules and the quality. Distant, prefers to avoid conflict. Things the leader, the C style, focuses on the facts and analyzes. So when you know what you know and you've analyzed it because you've trial and error and you've done it enough, you're going to gain more leadership confidence in speaking to the person that I'm a leader. Maintain standards and strives for perfection. You were doing that even when you went back. But when you went back, you got in your head and said, oh, I'm off. It's no longer perfect. To the person who was sitting on this side, yes, it was. They can't see your work. And you cover that. If you see me dropping my head over here, that's because I'm taking notes.
Yeah, he was killing. He was killing it on that. I'm like, dang, like I wish I could have that. Like instead of saying or like, you know, or stuff like that, he was like, hey, if I seem a little slow, you know, tell me to slow down. Like I mean, too fast. Tell him to slow down. Like
yeah, when he said that, I was like, man, you already going slow. Tell him to ask questions.
No, I meant to say when he said fast, he was just giving her like just letting her know like, hey, you know.
Yeah. I'm not saying you wrong. I'm saying when he said it, I was thinking you already going your C pace. If anything, you asked her if you want to ask a question, because I'm like, you was not going fast, bro. You was the turtle. You was explaining that to her. You was moving at your pace. You was being you. So I'm like, no. If you got any questions, jump in. That's why I was like, that's what you need to ask if you got any questions. Your motivators, the motivators, details and information, time to analyze and focus. The more you've studied Darrell, and also you pay attention to details, you just also have to do this as well. Make sure I don't give too many details. That's why I was like, you went back to that S and I was like, no. You ain't had to give her that detail. You already sold her on the C. It was a wrap.
It's like, did I give her enough? But then, like, when y'all told me and I thought about it, like, she did have an aha moment, so I ain't just go grab the bag. Like,
whether she had one aha moment or two aha moments, it's about bringing that awareness. So soon as she say, yeah, I did, as well as you pull them out. Because see, those are the aha moments. That's why you got to really, you know, pay attention to the body language or of the eye contact or whatever in the person or the gestures. Because soon as you said something, I can't remember what it was, and she chuckled, and you was like, what was that? That's an aha moment.
Yeah.
But she did it several times. She thought was like, oh yeah, because I was like, she had 4. But then when you ask her, she hit the 1 because that 1 possibly either was the last one she had or that was the most important one, so she pulled that out. And I'm like, it was a wrap. You was done.
What I like to do too, I find myself doing this at work to get myself comfortable around people because I hate being in groups or I hate being the center of attention. So like I find ways of being able to relate to people. And like where that's when people feel more comfortable. I'm like, yeah, I tell them that I'm this sort of person where I'm laid back, and it makes me feel more as if they're like, oh yeah, you know, I'm kind of like that too. And then that's when it kind of clicks more because it's like you feel more comfortable letting that person know, hey, I'm this way, and you know, I see you, you know, with her being a C, you being a C, both can, you know, I'm just like you know what I'm saying? Like,
And that's Joe, that's powerful because that's also like a part of an elevator pitch, which we gonna get into that you can draw that person in and say, the next time that you do it, I want this to be on your mind that, when you make that connection and make that relation is like, I learned how to do that because of what I'm in and what I do. I'm a coach. And it just made me more keen and more acceptable of who I am. And they're going to be like, oh, you accept who you, I mean, wait a minute. You start speaking, if they say they are I, like how you are, you start speaking that language of the I. Yeah, I done learned how to be enthusiastic and I can be charming. I can pull it back. Wait a minute. How do you learn how to do this? Well, here's my card.
Yeah, and just like you said, when I went over my assessment with my homie, because he wanted to know more about himself.
Oh yeah,
He
yeah,
was,
yeah.
you know,
Explain that.
I was basically he's a high C and a high S. So like with that being said, I was just like, he was like, sometimes I feel like I'm not a leader and all that stuff, and I'm like, because he just became a supervisor in this position at Amazon. And I'm
Ooh,
like,
okay.
and he like, man, I really don't know. I feel like everybody was telling me, that I should be a supervisor, but I just didn't feel like I really needed to. And I'm like, that was gonna happen whether you wanted it to or not, because you may not see it in yourself, but it was gonna happen eventually, whether you wanted to step up or not, because of who you are. And I compared it to, the Black Panther. And I'm like, you see how, he's not a high D. He's not like Killmonger.
Yep.
He's supportive and he's conscious. So like, so with him being that sort of person, like him knowing his superpower, just knowing who he is, that's what made him, more adept and comfortable helping people.
What's his name?
Gregory.
He took the assessment, right? Gregory Lean?
Yeah, Lanier.
Gregory Lanier. And
So you said he worked where?
At Amazon.
So that means that should be one that you get.
Huh? That what?
Yeah.
That means you secure that one.
Oh yeah, I mean he already offered, like, bro, when I was talking to him about it, like just reading through, it felt like I was doing the whole assessment with him, like, the whole class with him. And I'm like, he was like, man, wow, bro, like he literally like, man, this is the first time I was able to see like this is pinpoint accurate. Like I couldn't say that there was nothing wrong with it.
Oh my God.
Yeah, he top notch.
Yeah,
he 99, but this is the problem.
Yeah, no, I told him about that too. I said, when that drop off hit, I was explaining to him that too. I was like, he said, do you ever feel like you in a moment where you have to, jump into this, you feel like you have to revert to that? He was like, yeah, sometimes I just feel as if like, people don't, they probably think that I'm not doing enough for it. Was I gotta explain it in a way where I gotta read it to you too. Go.
But he got a high economic.
Yeah. Hold on. He's balanced out for real, like in everything.
Well, there's no balance.
Hold on. I don't mean like that. I mean in terms of,
you saying like knowing him as a person.
Because this is his values, because this ain't balanced.
No, I'm not talking about that.
He's talking about like as a person. Like knowing him as a person.
That's what you mean, as a person?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, yeah, that's just saying, okay, you might want to refer from that. This is how he uses his power.
He told me he did this at work. He said his supervisor had some workers working in a way where he knew that they weren't working in their strengths. And he was able to use his C and just think about like, I know that this person will do good in this because they're more of a fast-paced sort of person.
Because he done analyzed and already watched people. And I told him that. I said, you great at analyzing because your C is just speaking to you and letting you know, like, you can see something, you paying attention to the details. And he told me his supervisor was a D though. And his supervisor was just trying to throw people in wherever they needed to do, just to get the job done. He was like, so he offered his supervisor, like, hey, just believe in me. And I told him that was you working in your superpower, in your superpower when you told that person, hey, I feel like, just believe me. Like, if you have this person do this, it's gonna be way smoother. And right.
And I guess the supervisor, pat him on the back, like, like you was right. Like, and he was like, wow, he really was like, I was like, that's you working in who you are. Like, and I'm like, you may not see it in yourself, because he said, I don't think I'm a leader. I'm like, naturally, you're a leader by,
your power.
In your power, like just who you are.
And that's because he hasn't, he maybe, is this the first time he's had a supervisual position thrown to him?
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's why he don't see it, because that C and that S, S does not want to be in front. They more comfortable with being Scottie Pippen.
Yeah, and
But
that's
they
kind of
can,
how I told him too about myself. I'm like, you know, me and you are this, because he told me, he was like, you seem like you're a leader and all of this. I'm like, you know, I felt the same way you felt when you said, you know, like back when I wasn't doing what I was doing. Like a lot of people look at me the same way you think a lot of people look at you, because we
right.
both are S's and C's. You know,
Yeah.
I got a little balance in my eye.
Yep.
You know,
Yep.
but
You know how to operate and be around people, but you being able to recognize it and see it, he
mm-hmm.
can't see his, but the position being given to him is there.
Yeah,
So that's where that C style leadership is something you should speak to
mm-hmm.
help them become or stay in it and be more
Yeah,
confident and lead from that area. Joe,
yeah.
that's a client, bro.
Oh no, I
That's a
told him that.
that's a student.
I know, you know, and the reason I said
Yeah,
student,
yeah.
I said I actually believe with you being a supervisor, you being a C2 like that, you love paying attention to detail. You would do great just learning more about people, like in your like learning, because he was telling me about the D's, and he was like, my dad's a D, my supervisor's a D, and he was like, I noticed that, you know, like I'm more like this, I'm more slow pace, and
Yep.
like, do you feel like I need to move a little bit faster? I'm like, no, that's just you. Who you are. You have to make sure you paying attention to what you do before you do it.
Yeah,
Like,
embrace that.
yeah,
Be
embrace it.
authentic, be you. Don't try to be nobody else just
And
because you
I
can
told
see
him
it.
that.
It's
I
great.
told him that.
Good. Good.
But
That's a student, Joe. That's a student or somebody you could coach them, but is also a student.
mm-hmm.
But I mean,
He definitely is understanding of himself. Like he said, I feel like I'm, you know, really slow paced, but should I be faster? Like, you know, and I'm like, no, like I'm like, if just like you know, Black Panther, he knew who he was, so he knew that this is what I'm, a supportive person, I'm a conscious person,
But
you
see,
know.
you got to be careful of, does he recognize when he drops down and is
Yeah.
adaptive? That is when he's moving faster, but he's
Mm-hmm.
under stress. And
Mm-hmm.
that's going to cause problems because now he's not as supportive to the people he's leading. He's
Yeah.
actually doing the work and then gets upset that he's doing the work.
Mm-hmm. One thing I did tell him too, he said notice some, I notice sometimes that I don't say stuff like, and I feel like I should. And I'm like, you know, I'm like, whenever you feel like that, maybe you should put more effort into just, you know, saying more, you know, if you feel like you
Yeah.
don't do it. Like, it's just like a balance, like a teeter-totter. Like if you feel, okay, dang, I'm not doing something, like, cause he thinks a lot. So it's like, if that moment you get that thought of, okay, did I do it? Do it. Like, just try to do more of that. Or, you know,
Yeah.
you being a supervisor, just say it.
Yeah, it's being aware, and
Mm-hmm.
he's going to lead from a supportive position.
Yeah.
And that's why, I mean, yeah, this is perfect. And that's where when I pulled up that, I wish I could pull them both up at the same time. But the C style and the S style leadership, because he has a combination, but that S style leadership falling down, that's where, like I said, he's Bruce Banner when he's at his peak. When he in his superpower, he actually Bruce Banner. When he starts going in that adaptive, that's when the Hawk is coming out because he's thinking about it. He got a low eye, very introspective, pays attention to his own emotions and thoughts and things like that. And he doesn't allow his emotions to take over. That's that C because he's looking at it analytical. But that S is can be very sensitive
Yeah.
to the things that are in front of him that he's seeing because they're not accepting his support. So now he's like, let me do it. And
Okay. Yeah.
he's doing it and he can get upset with it from how they're responding to him. So he has to pay attention to that because that is a huge gap.
Yeah.
It's like, whoa.
That's his aha.
Yeah, he
was
pretty angry. He can get angry. When he gets short fuse, when it don't go right, he can blow up.
I asked him about that too. I asked him if there were any, like, I threw out a few words at him, like the steady, outgoing, and restless. I'm like, I asked him, I said, do you at times feel like that? He says steady and restless. He did say he felt as if, you know, he does tend to think about those things, like, hey, you know,
Yeah,
he was saying that.
That's good because that's where now when he's saying that he recognizes that he's restless. And I heard you, Darrell. That's where you want to be like, okay, what's a situation that you recognize that causes you that? What environment were you in? Was you at home, work? He said the fourth one is the grade. That was funny.
I got that from you.
So do he recognize those environments? You know, where this is happening? Is it at work he's feeling restless, at home, or is it on recreation? And so have him give you some scenarios, but you gotta.
He did though. He actually gave me some scenarios on that too. He said sometimes.
Why you ain't get paid, man? You
I was just about to say, you done gave him a whole session.
No, for real. I'm telling you, when it was just like I had a whole class before I got in this, like because it was like he was telling me, he was like, you know, sometimes I feel like I'm doing everything and I'm motivated. Like he said, I'm really motivated at work and I'm doing everything I'm supposed to, but then I feel like, am I really doing what I'm supposed to do? Like, or like
he get too much in his head. And that's that part where he's getting in his own head and he is being where is that? Yeah. He is a perfectionist, caution, and systematic. Mm-hmm. So he wants to do it perfect, and he's even to the point him being successful and being offered the job, he will almost shoot his own self in the foot because he don't think he should be there. Mm-hmm. And so he's going to overanalyze. But having somebody like you on his side, and if you explain to him this is the two things that's happening. Mm-hmm. He is giving you the confidence to see what you're seeing, and you're learning your assessment, you're learning how to deliver it, mm-hmm. and it's benefiting him. That's one. Number two, it's definitely giving him more insight to understanding himself and be acceptable, especially if he keeps working with you. Mm-hmm. Now, I don't know if he wants to be a coach, so I don't know if I would throw that his way. Mm-hmm. But if he feels comfortable in the position and the job that he's in, he should stay there, learn more about himself, which possibly could help him branch out and start a type of company. Working on his own, if those are some of his goals.
Even when I was talking to him, like he didn't seem as if he wanted to be a coach. He was talking from a place where he wanted to learn more about himself, like, and just learn like how he can work on being more of himself. So
there you go.
He seemed like he wanted to be a client. Like,
okay, and that's where I think you telling him I can coach you. You can be his power coach, or I mean, I forget your idea of your coaching company. But
Lions leading Lions.
Lions, that's it. Lions leading Lions. So, that's what you tell me. And that's it. I'm a lion. I recognize where I'm at, and I'm finna lead a lion. So you should definitely offer that and ask him if he wants to go further with you. And you sit down with him on a weekly basis, however you want to do it, charging $500, charging $1,000 is up to you. You pick it and you keep going through with him.
Yeah.
Don't have no more conversation with him.
no
more free conversation.
The next time you do speak to him, what was I gonna say? Oh, offer him a journal.
Okay.
The reason I say that is because with me being a high S and a high C, and then looking at his, when he starts to get into that space, if he got like a small notebook, he can write down like what he feeling or thinking in that notebook, and now it's out of his head. So now he can
and then that's good, Darrell. And then he can bring that to you in your sessions.
Exactly. Right. That's what I do at work. Like before, I had a book bag. It got stolen or whatever. But in that book bag, I had a small notebook, and whenever I would start feeling like, basically, I want to tear up the whole room, I just write down what I think. For real. Because it be days where I be like,
because he that high S and that Hulk be trying to come out like, let me out.
I'm like, man, the next person say something to me in this type of way, shape, or fashion,
they finna get it.
Everything. Like I'm finna this high low through the whole department. But I be like, I can't do that because I know what it'll do, and I know I got people depending on me. So
right.
Like that. You write your thoughts down in that notebook, and once you write it down or talk to somebody about it, you feel totally different afterwards. Like you back at chilling.
That's everybody heard you out.
I got a question. With his adaptive being so low, and with his S, could that partially be him being angry from like feeling used or not appreciated because of the support that he gives? Okay.
Absolutely. you're very good in that assessment, but you're going to get more insightful even to Joe when he explains the situation and him recognizing he's not in a peaceful place. He's stressful.
He did tell me
We're
about the
talking
restless.
39, 1, 2, 3, 4. So yeah, he's outgoing, steady, and restless.
Yeah,
So
he
what's
told me about
getting
that
him?
restless too.
And
He
so,
said that.
and that's what we need to find out, because he's a super. When you go back to the pages of the groundskeeper, who he likes to help. He's the Scottie Pippen. He's just support, support, support. What's causing you where you don't want to support no more?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? What's causing you to where you're not being predictable and patient and passive? And ain't nothing wrong with that, because patience is a virtue. But now, what's going on in your life that got you like, bump this? And now the Hulk, he moving so fast, tearing up stuff in his path. And when you look back, he like, that ain't what I wanted to do. Why didn't they just leave me alone? Why did they accept me for my peaceful, patient, predictable self? And what's the that's the real.
That's how I be.
Why was that? Why me ain't good enough in this situation? So well, you finna get this. This is what you asking for.
Yeah.
And I was gonna say, with his D being like not high, but with his D being where it's at, he might react a little bit quicker too. Because my D way lower than his. Yeah, my D about the same. But I'm saying, like, with his D being a 35, he'll be quicker to react. Because with mine is a 14 and a 10. He is a 35 and a 10. Yeah, I'm chill.
It's real, but that's because his S and C is so high, because he thinks thoroughly through a problem.
Yeah.
He uses that instead of going fast to solve the problem, which comes from something in the past that shaped this forward thinking, this belief system. This is locked in people's belief system. This is why they interact the way they are. And I heard somebody else say this, because other than everybody has a D, I, S, and C in them, right?
Mm-hmm.
But when we break it down even more, there's always only two people in the room. That's a introvert or an extrovert. They're the only two people in the room. You might get a third who's in the middle, but whatever they most comfortable with in the moment, that's what's always going to show up. And if they more introverted, that's who's always going to be in the room. Introverted or extroverted. Those are the basic two people that's always in a house. And home, at work, on recreation. Now, the D and I is just showing a behavior that they prefer, a superpower that they prefer to use when they interact out of their extrovertedness, or when they interact out of their introvertedness. That's all that is. So it's like that person says, okay, I'm an extrovert, and here go my power. I'm an I. Okay, I'm an introvert, and here go my power. I'm a high C. Or a high S. I'm gonna support you, because these is just they own the side. The D, the I are extroverted. The higher they are, they're more extroverted. The S and the C, that's the introverted. Those are the only two people in the room. The only two, and one don't need to be like the other. You go ahead and you be Michael Jordan. I'll be that high C and right out the plan. That's the coach.
He was also telling me about that, even with his supervisor at work. He was like, I really believe, you need a D. Like, I don't look at it as a person, he was coming off like he knows that you don't have to not like work with that person. He was like, I actually feel like we need her there, because I'm like, that's why you work so well, like with her, because of who he is.
Well, it's not just because of who he is. That's a part of it. These are his preferences and tendencies. Yeah. Look at that background. He said his daddy's a D. He's been around people who are D's, and he can understand and take that direction and order and not get pent up in his emotions. But I believe there's a side of him that for his S to go down so low, that he understands this is the D person, but he feels a certain way and he doesn't express it. So that's why it drops.
I was going to say, to speak to that, it could be the way that they communicate with him.
Exactly, it is.
Yeah.
That's what I mean. It's the way they communicate because he's around them. So when they say things and they cut and they dry, he's like, I'm used to that, but the still hurt.
Yeah.
So I'm still sensitive about it. I just done learn to be more patient or more passive and just allow it to happen. But inside, because this is the oversensitivity, and he watches people. He's how old is this man?
He's 27.
The thought just came that he may feel that he may not feel this way, or as far as to express it, but how his S drops down so low, he may have suffered some abuse. And what I mean in abuse, it doesn't necessarily mean physical. A child being yelled at can make them feel like, you know what I'm saying? If I feel threatened, or that you're hurting me, or because he got such low self-esteem. So it sounds like the parents or whoever has been there, but no one has intentively taken care of his inner feelings. How does this make you feel? Do you feel scared? Do you feel accepted? So he's so used to being patient and predictable that it's going to work out, and also analyzing his steps, making sure he don't do nothing wrong, because possibly how these people respond, he like, I don't want to make no mistakes, so I got to be like this. So and then now him being told you're a supervisor because that systematic ability that you have, and you pointed this person out, you know people better than me, and I'm a D. You need to be a supervisor. I need you working in this area to make it more harmonious, because that's what a D will see. That's the Michael Jordan. Oh, you do good at shooting threes? Okay, I need you. Hire him because he can shoot them threes. And when he pass you the ball, I need you to perform at the ability that I see, because you right there, which I ain't got that ability. Jordan can shoot a three, but he ain't a three-point expert. So I want you in there because you that expert. But him not believing, the gentleman not believing he's that, or can't see that leadership quality, he's getting something from these people in his past that has him, especially in this S. He naturally want to be supportive, but boom, something doesn't happen. And most oftentimes, men don't see trauma as
an issue.
An issue because they like, I'm surviving, I'm good. Right. But if I haven't been emotionally fed, I haven't been emotionally accepted, does he think it's bad to cry as a man? Somebody done put a belief in him, and that can cause him, I'm feeling a certain way, I'm being sensitive. Whoop, drop down. Now he's trying to hurry up so that can't be seen, because I'm trying to cover up who I am. And I don't want nobody to see that. So I think as the more you talk with him, that might come out, but it has to do with your understanding of what trauma is or abuse is. Because it don't mean physical all the time. It can be yelling. Neglect is a form of abuse, meaning his emotions haven't been tended to. You follow what I'm saying? The emotional needs have to be there. And if they're not there as a child growing up, they can be unhealthy. And when they seek after people or things, and they create a codependency, you have to have these 5 things are the ingredients to have a confident, secure, accepting, loving, successful child. They need to have, it's going to be recorded, but you might want to write it down. They need to have the proper amount of love, the proper amount of guidance, the proper amount of love, guidance, warmth, affirmation, and what is it? Security. They have to have the proper amount of security, affirmation, warmth, love, and guidance. Those are the main ingredients to have a healthy, confident, adventurous, able to go out in the world and succeed child. that they don't fall to other people's ideas. When people tell them you should do this, they like, no, I'm secure. When a person gets these 5 ingredients in the healthy way, the right amount, not attention, but affirmations, the right amount of guidance, the right amount of love. When they get that and the warmth that they can express if they crying and they can come to you, they feel a certain way, they can come to you because it's a warm environment. You affirm them. I believe, because I teach this men's parenting, when you give that child the proper amount of affirmations, if you correct them, you should affirm them as well. I believe that when you are affirming a child or affirming an adult, they're getting the proper amount of love in addition to that. They're also getting a guidance because you affirming them, you say, good job. That's guidance. You follow what I'm saying? You giving them the right amount of love. You showing them I love you by affirming you. You also give them the right amount of security, because in that affirming them, they are secure with their emotions. It's a safe place. It's warm. You follow what I'm saying? So
Right.
Every time if you correct a child, you got to make sure you also, that's in guidance, but also affirm them. You doing a great job. Good grades. Not no, that's what you're supposed to do. No, great job. We need to celebrate. Let's do this. So they're going to want more to be successful and find out ways to be successful. You give them a whole bunch of, oh no, you can do better, you can do this, they're going to be feeling defeated. Like, why? You know what I'm saying? Why? And when you recognize that behavior in your own children as well as in yourself, you can have, Ebony, this is for you.
I'm listening.
Yeah, it's somebody struggling in this. I don't know if they struggling or it's
Yes.
some questions of, okay, yeah.
No, yes.
Yeah.
And that 17-year-old.
Because
yes.
I'm sitting there trying to figure out, like, why am I talking about this? Who?
I'm
Darrell ain't got
looking,
no kids yet.
No,
I'm looking for I
Huh?
asked her for I had asked her for her email, and that's what I'm looking for, because I need to have her take this assessment so we can get some stuff straightened out.
What is her name?
I ain't gave it to you yet.
Oh, okay, because somebody
Nope.
just took one. But anyway, what I'm talking about, and that's probably why we're talking about this, because when you understand that and get out of yourself and give them the love languages that they need, and you understand their DISC assessment, it's like, I had to make some changes. I just found out this information this year in 2020. All my children done it. And I'm like, oh, dang. Okay, I can't be aggressive as I am with this one, with that one. I got these high eyes in the room who get emotional, so I can't hit them with my C. This is what you're supposed to be doing. Boom, 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 boom. And I want it, and they can be, and a high C can sometimes be emotionless because they systematic. So they go express it, blah, 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 not do it. Then I had to realize, oh, I can't talk to the eye like that.
Yeah.
I gotta be more, not emotional, but understand who I'm talking to, because I don't want to shut them down. Because when I'm coming at them rah, like, hey, this is just what you're supposed to do, and I grew up in the family, everybody talk loud, so when people be like, hey, you yelling, I'm like, no, I ain't. I ain't yelling. This is a normal tone. What you talking about? And then I had to back it up like, oh, yeah, because I can project and I can aura, and I've been doing this, so I'm like, okay, listen. Take a deep breath and go, okay, this is what I need you to do. It ain't saying you didn't do a good job. You did a fantastic job. I love how you did that. You a good child. Affirm them and then correct them. But
yeah,
if you
my
use
D,
your D, yeah, it's like
my D. My D come out with her for real.
Yeah,
so,
and it's a practice for you to not change who you are, but use the other style that you have.
Yeah.
Come from a supportive position more so, because you got a support in you, but recognizing that, so that means you slow down, you listen to her, and you just take a note and highlight it, or a mental note, whatever you need to do. Okay, here's the problematic area. And then now put it back on her. Well, how we gonna solve it? Cause your D gonna, okay, this is what you gonna do. But she like, you ain't understanding my emotions and you just, or my feelings, and you telling me to fix it. But that's how you want to fix it. That ain't giving me no empowerment. That's not giving me control. You just taking over as your D, because you know the way to go. I've been there. I was a teenager, but they may not understand that. Like, help me understand that you were a teenager, mom, by telling me what were some of the obstacles that you had to get through. And that's the transparency. Now they like, oh, I can talk to you more and share my emotions and share my feelings. So you are creating with that the warm environment, and that they feel they can share, and they don't get your emotions out of it and do it. It's kind of like, you got to remember that you were once a girl. And the challenges and the things that you go through. So you got to learn to operate out of the supportive side of you, and not the get it done side and make it happen and quit talking this junk and do what I told you to do. I ain't got time to be emotional with you and show support. I need you to just do this so I have no more problems to worry about. It's not about you.
I'm not that bad.
I ain't say you was.
I'm just saying with my D, because I have been preaching to her now, is that you need to do what you need to do for you, not for me, because I'm already where, I'm already pushing for where I want to be, but you have to figure out where you want to be.
Well, see, that's the thing. She needs your leadership in that supportive style of the S, so she can get there. Because how she might hear it, depending on where she's at, as far as in this disc, she may hear mama telling me to do it by myself. And I'm already scared because I done already jacked up. Is this the one that had the car accident?
Yes.
Oh yeah, so her confidence has already been, because I did something foolish. And she might be a high C and high S.
She's a tricky one. And I don't know.
Say that again, because it stopped for a moment. Repeat that.
No, I said
my stuff keep going in and out.
But I've tried to her what she is beforehand.
Man, Ebony, my stuff keep jumping. I don't know what's going on. I hear you, but you keep breaking up.
Seriously. And if it wasn't for her being, because she was driving behind another car of kids that she knew, if they were not there where she was at off the road, nobody would have knew that they was over there. She ducked all the way in.
Okay. So yeah, it sounds like from that incident, especially now, I mean, because that can be a behavior changing moment in somebody's beliefs. So she might be operating in some fear. And if you making that approach with her, like I said, I might be hearing the whole, I got to do this on my own, and maybe her not feel as confident because she done already made a mistake. And then she's seeing mom be so successful and she's trying to measure up. You literally her hero, but it'd be hard for that child to say, I want to be like you, mom, I want to do this. And then they feel if they not living up to it, but they hear the correction, it's like, okay, I can't reach that. But you follow what I'm saying? And it can make them feel defeated because I'm not, I can't do that. So yeah, but nonetheless, she's still doing a great job, but it's recognizing her style. So yeah, as soon as you get her her email. Let me know. I'll send that to you because that's just gonna help y'all communication. I had to do it with my daughter. I'm like bumping heads with this chick until I had to be like, okay, what's going on? I'm like, oh, okay, she got a D in her. She got this I, and I started letting her know what I know. And it's like sometimes we still bump head, but I'll be like, okay.
Yep. Yep. Gotta take a breath.
At least I don't go where I used to go because I got a better understanding of her.
And that's where I had to go, getting a better understanding of myself. And I had to go back and apologize. Sorry for getting on you, but I meant what I said just for the fact that we do care. We're not gonna just let you be out here and you be able to say, oh, nobody told me that. Or nobody told me, told me about myself. Because that's some other people's issues, is that their parents don't tell them
which they don't sit down enough with them to explain it to them to help them understand it, because they don't have this knowledge. This is where we come in. So you being able to, that area of you doing an assessment, Ebony, with your company to help women create this legacy, you talking to the woman as well as to her child. I need your child to do an assessment depending on their age. But the more you make aware of the client, they will use this knowledge to lead and guide their own children. You follow me?
Yep.
So yeah, this been real good. It's been powerful.